And there is a man who 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 has built a substantial shelter for himself.
Hmm.
So this place has a front door. It has lights. He has a refrigerator. He has a stove. Um, he calls it a waterfront property because it sits right on the LA River. Um, Other people in the encampment have. What's up, everybody? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho, and we are the six-time international award-winning pop hip hop music duo band in Future. We do clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that's uniquely Californian. And right now, you are tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast, where we talk about everything that's funny, interesting, and ridiculous. But before we jump into today's topic, make sure you help us out. Help us for that YouTube algorithm. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with somebody who's homeless. Is that a good demographic? Is
You know what? Actually, most homeless people do at least have access to the internet. So I guess now, 20 years ago, no, but homeless people are doing pretty good.
Yes, that I'm glad you said that because that kind of segues into what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Um, Before I say what I don't know where to start first.
Okay.
No, I'll go off of what you just said. Homeless people are doing not so bad, at least in LA, from what I can see. So check it out. Um, I think I told you maybe a month or so ago, I was going to like the crypto.com arena and I was walking past this homeless encampment and I saw a orange extension cable
Hmm.
and it was just like, it was long. It was running all the way down the sidewalk. And somehow, I don't know how they did this, they rigged it into like a light pole or something. And those people had electricity. Like they were in there having a good time. They had a TV running. They were watching Netflix, whatever. Like they were just like, it's all good. So the the I guess the comfortability of homelessness is getting really interesting. Um, and then also I came across an article from ABC, which was just took it to the next level.
Hmm.
So uh, by the 110 freeway, which is a major freeway in Los Angeles, if you're not from here, there's an encampment, and there's a man who 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 has built a substantial shelter for himself.
Hmm.
So this place has a front door. It has lights. He has a refrigerator. He has a stove. Um, he calls it a waterfront property because it sits right on the LA River. Um, Other people in the encampment have little gardens. I mean, they have a whole situation going on. So have you seen anything like this, or have you noticed like the increase in just amenities that like homeless people are just like living it up right now?
Not specifically like that, but I do want to point out something. And I think it's a misconception that a lot of us have, understandably. If you're homeless, you assume certain things about people. But
Yeah,
being homeless doesn't mean you're broke. It
that's a
doesn't
good.
at all. And I,
Yeah,
I, I bring that up because I remember in Claremont, I was in a coffee bean listening to two homeless guys basically have a business meeting about how to get more money from people. Like the dude, he was seriously like, yo, man, okay, you got to go to this exit between this time and this time. Make sure you have a dog, and they'll give you. So these people have money, and barring the people that are super drugged out or have like a crazy mental illness, a lot of not a lot, but there are homeless people that are homeless by choice. So
yes,
they have money, it's like they just don't want to spend it on a house. So that doesn't surprise me, but I haven't seen specifically
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've literally been at the gas station and dudes walking up to me who are bigger than I am. I mean, they eating good
Hmm.
and like fresh Jordans on. Like they just
Right, right,
like,
right,
can I
right.
get $5? I'm like, dude, you look better than I do. Like, can
Uh-huh.
I get $5?
Right,
Like, what are you talking
right.
about? Um, but yeah, it's It's getting crazy. I mean, not getting crazy. It's already crazy, especially how here in LA, we have just. I think it was only. I forgot the numbers in LA, but it's just thousands and thousands of homeless people. But I did want to address something because we talked about the homeless before in a previous
Mhm.
video in San Francisco, where they were like trying to hide the homeless people because all these people, these foreign dignitaries or something, were coming in and tried
Right,
to
right.
hide the whole situation. Somebody, I don't know this person, but somebody got kind of offended uh, at that video, and they tried to go at us in the comments, man. They tried to go at us in the comments. Would you like to hear it? Good. I'm just gonna paraphrase. So we were talking about the homeless. This guy came on and was like, "Have you been homeless? Have you ever been down on your luck? What would happen if you lost your job and things were wrong in your life? You lost your house, your apartment." So he's basically saying like, it's not our place to talk about the homeless. Um, which I fired back at him, and I said it is completely our place because I lived in LA for a long time, but I lived in downtown LA, which is like homeless central, just a few blocks from Skid Row. Um, when people are pulling down their pants and taking a dump on your front door and you step in it, you absolutely have a right to say something about that. Like, you have a right to say something about that. And it's not even the homeless in particular. It's the all the stuff that comes with it. Like I don't care if you're homeless or not, whatever. But it's like it's the disrespect for other people and the other things in the city, um, and just like the trash everywhere and the safety concerns and
Right.
like the destruction of property. Um, if you're pushing a shopping cart, I'm pretty sure you didn't buy that shopping cart. That means you stole it from us. Just because you're homeless doesn't give you a license to commit crimes. Like, like you
Right.
can't.
Right.
Like, so it's not even about like the haves and the have-nots. Like that's really irrelevant to me. And I will say that one thing I will apologize for is that I laugh a lot. And a lot of people have said that in the comments before. And I think that's just because I think one reason is because talking to a camera is really weird.
Agreed.
Um, and so I'm used to talking to a group of people or something where you get feedback. And so you say something that's funny, like I think it's funny. I just laugh at myself. But we try to keep it light on the podcast. But um, homelessness, really, there are, I don't know, again, everyone's situation is different. Like you said, there's some people who aren't even broke. They just don't have a house. But um, there are some homeless people who are just like they had a rough whatever something happened to them and it's just a serious situation and their life is really messed up. So I think well at least I should apologize for making that um and I guess that false interpretation, you know what I'm saying? Like the insensitivity. I think that may have come across to some people like that. So I don't want to
Oh,
make
I
it seem
see.
like we're insensitive to the homeless situation. But at the same time, I think that we shouldn't be silenced because we've never been homeless or we never had a rough time or anything like that. Um, and I have more to say about that, but I want to know what you think about at least that part of it too.
Oh, I don't apologize for anything. I think that I'm justified in what I say when it comes to things that I've seen over time, right? So generalizing is dangerous, but it works because we have to start somewhere, right? So
uh,
if homeless people were literally just like everyone else, they just didn't have a home, meaning they weren't dirty, they weren't sometimes violent or leading to criminal activity in order to, because if you don't have money, you have to do things that are above the law to get what you need.
uh,
Um, if the implication of what homeless is the problem, I think If somehow it was just you don't have a house, there's nothing wrong with that. And yes, people do
Right.
have unfortunate situations. But in general, when there's, and I heard somebody say this as a joke, but it really does kind of resonate. It's like there's places where homeless people aren't allowed to go. Why? Because they're homeless. And that's not a place that they can't come into the places that we can go because they don't have a home. And it's
Mm.
not because they're homeless. It's because you can tell they're homeless because they look homeless, they smell homeless, they talk homeless, they're weird to you. Like all that stuff is what we're
Yeah.
talking about, or at least personally, what I talk about when I mention the homeless people. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you
Mhm.
do want to go by, I'm sure someone knows someone who just lost it all in a bad, crypto, real estate exchange. The woman took everything, whatever. I know there's people like that, and that's unfortunate. But just in
Yeah.
general, homeless people are not contributing to anyone's sense of
Yeah.
safety or
Yeah.
anything like that. And that's what I'm referring to when I mention homeless people.
Yeah. That's I think that's an accurate statement. It's just like it's not about the condition. It's
No, it's not.
about the character that comes along with that, and the not only not contributing but being destructive.
Mhm.
So that's just even in my neighborhood. I think I told you before. It's like when I first moved here, like a few years ago, this place was spotless. I mean, it was just like people had pride in their neighborhood and stuff like that. And then, but we have a major mall, we have a major bus stop here and there, 7-Eleven, like the main intersection. That's kind of where I'm at, and it's just like every year, it's like okay, there's one homeless person. Okay, it's not so bad. Two homeless. Dang. All right, there's a guy
Mhm.
sleeping in front of the grocery store. Crap. And then it's like trash just keeps building up. Trash, more trash, more trash, more trash. And it's like, this isn't a rocket science. Like, what has changed? There's more homeless people. There's more
Right.
trash. There's more abandoned shopping carts. There's more. There's more crime. I mean, I looked at the crime map for my area, and it was like literally my block. That area that I'm talking about is where all this stuff happens. This is like, anyway. The other point I wanted to make before we kind of wrap it up because it's going kind of long. One thing I also hate is that when people make judgments about you and they don't know anything about you. So same thing. I mean, the door swings both ways, right? People could say, "Hey, we're making a judgment about homeless people," but this person in the comment also made a judgment about us, like that we don't know anything about homelessness. We have never had or a rough time or anything like that. And it's just interesting to see because I mean I personally didn't come from having a lot or anything like that, and so when I've done stuff here in LA and I've really worked really hard and become successful, it's just like the mentality of people is just so interesting to see, like the psychology. It's like you become like you always had a silver spoon and like you got it good and you don't know what it's like and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I absolutely do know what it's like. Like into like 2012, I had nothing. I had like literally no job, no place to stay. Like I've been through all this kind of stuff. Like, and just because I'm like in my own place and have my own business and I'll do all this stuff doesn't mean like I don't know what's up. And I think about the people like the Jeff Bezos of the world, who just people just, oh man, he doesn't care. He doesn't know what it's like. Like I've seen pictures of this dude. This dude was selling books like in a garage somewhere, like just nerding out. There's no, I don't know how if he had friends or I don't know, but
Right.
they show these. Google started in a garage. Apple started in somebody's garage. Amazon started in somebody's garage. These dudes didn't just like, you know,
No, they worked for it. They really did. They
yeah,
worked for it, and they gave the world something that the world needed. So they get
yeah,
rewarded with
yeah,
billions of.
exactly. I mean, if you want to have all that, then you can create something that literally changes the entire world, and then you can have all that too. But like, I don't criticize anybody for like having success or anything like that. Like, I'm pretty sure at some point, even like the what was it? The Kardashians or Paris Hilton? Because I just gonna feel that way too. Because that was kind of like their, you knew that they came from money. They had stuff going on.
Sure.
But like, unless you have worked on a TV show, like you really don't understand how insanely difficult it is, how much you have to grind. Like just because you have a bunch of money doesn't mean it's going to be a success.
Absolutely.
Like
Oh.
like I kind of tell you that I'm not even a lead. I'm just working, background or stand-in or just co-star or something. And I'm just like, after a couple of days, I'm like, dude, I'm like spent. I'm like, you're just 12 hours a day, boom, grinding. And then they have to come back and learn. They got to go home, learn lines, you know. I think Dave Chappelle had a funny like little. I do a Chappelle show 14 hours a day. I come home, raise my kids for like 10 to 20 minutes, and I get back up and do it again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like anybody you see, even if they have money, they are grinding, man. And so that's kind of just I just wanted to make those points because it was just like upsetting that someone would come at us in the comments over that. It was just without any kind of perspective. Um,
Do you think the person that made the comment has a job?
I feel like they do. I feel like we just hit a nerve. Like they had a job, or they're going through a tough time, or someone in their life is going through a tough time, and it just seemed like we were just talking about, you know, from we just like on YouTube, and we're privileged, and we just homeless people are terrible, and it's just, you know, so
Okay. I say if you give me one fact about a person and then I get to judge whether or not to invite them over to my house. If you tell me right off the jump this person's homeless, then that's going to determine whether I want them to come over. Now, it's possible they're the sweetest person, and I know people for sure that do have homes
yeah,
that I never want them to come over. So there's that. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means just based on the facts, statistically, this isn't a good start.
yeah. So I know it's a controversial situation. It's a big, um, been a big problem in LA and in many other places around the US and around the world. But let us know what you think. Leave us a comment. Let us know a comment that's nice.
Or
No, you can,
not,
no,
whatever.
you can
Say what
disagree. You can,
you want. Say what you
yeah, you
want.
can, yeah, say what you want. But just know that I'm coming after you if you do. Now, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Homelessness. Have you seen homeless people? Are they living it up in your area? Do you wish you were homeless and you could just live like that and not pay rent? Do people misjudge one another when it comes to all this kind of stuff? I know it's chaotic. Let us know what you think. Until then, you stay classy, San Diego.
That's nice. And don't be
Worst
homeless.
don't be homeless. Yes. Worst ending ever. Bye.
They took our jobs.